The book opens on a bright, cold day in April. The main character, Winston Smith, walks into his dilapidated apartment building, called Victory Mansion. All around the building are huge posters of Big Brother's face, along with the words, "Big Brother is watching you." Winston is on his lunch break and would like to use the elevator to get up to his apartment, but it's broken. Winston is a 39-year-old man, but despite his age, he has a sickly body. He struggles to walk up to his apartment. Once he's inside, he is greeted by the loud voice of a newscaster blasting from his telescreen. Winston is a member of the outer party and is required to have the telescreen on at all times. Winston walks over to his window and gazes out at the street below. The city is in shambles. It was destroyed by years of nuclear war and has never been rebuilt. Posters of party propaganda hang on all of the buildings. They say things like war is peace and freedom is slavery. Oceania has been at war for decades, and small bombs drop on the poorer parts of the city every week. Winston's block is home to the main government buildings. They are the Ministry of Love, which handles crime and punishment, the Ministry of Plenty, which governs Oceania's production and economics, the Ministry of War, which is the military office, and the Ministry of Truth, which produces all of the media and arts in Oceania. This is also where Winston works. His job requires him to rewrite old newspaper articles that the party finds dangerous. Winston replaces these articles with new, fake stories that serve a pro-party purpose. Although Winston is a member of the party, his attitude towards the government is negative. He knows that the news on the telescreen is all false propaganda. When he's at his apartment, he doesn't eat lunch. Instead, he sulks around, drinking government-issued alcohol called Victory Gin, and smokes a Victory cigarette. He came home that day to skip out on community lunch at the community canteen, but he only has a few minutes left before he goes back to work. Winston goes into his bedroom and retrieves a diary that he bought at a black market thrift store in the proletariat part of town. Winston knows that even owning a diary could be punishable by death, let alone writing in it. However, Winston feels compelled to write. He makes sure he is out of the sight of his telescreen, and he writes the date in the diary, April 4th, 1984. Winston suddenly becomes terrified, but he keeps writing anyway. He starts describing a movie he saw a few days before, which showed footage of a refugee boat being bombed by Oceania's warplanes. Everyone in the theater was cheering against their enemies as they watched children being killed in their mother's arms. Winston is disgusted by the party and the influence they've had on basic human feelings like sympathy. He embraces the fact that he is going to die, and he sees his diary as a form of rebellion. Winston stops writing to think about something strange that happened the day before. He had been attending the 2 Minutes Hate, a mandatory event held in a stadium in which party members view propaganda videos and yell about their hate towards the enemies of the party. The 2 Minutes Hate always focuses on a man named Goldstein, who is described as a Jewish man. He, Goldstein, apparently betrayed the party by forming a group of rebels known as the Brotherhood before he fled to another enemy state. The propaganda makes it seem as though Goldstein is still alive somewhere. At the 2 Minutes Hate, Winston sees two people he recognizes from the Ministry of Truth. The first is a beautiful but evil woman that Winston has seen around his department. She is an extremely loyal member of the party and wears a red sash, indicating that she is a member of the Junior Anti-Sex League. She is extremely loud at the 2 Minutes Hate, and when Winston sees her, he is overcome with the violent urge to rape her. The second person he sees is a man named O'Brien, an inner party member who is often at the Ministry of Truth. Winston feels connected to O'Brien as he reminds Winston of how men acted in the pre-party era. Winston has the instinct that O'Brien also opposes the party. Winston recalls a moment at the 2 Minutes Hate where he saw O'Brien glance at him, and Winston believes O'Brien meant this as an admission of his own opposition to the party. Lost in his own daydream, Winston looks down at his diary and realizes that he has been writing, quote, "down with Big Brother," over and over again. He is again overwhelmed by the thought of his inevitable execution. The only thing he doesn't know is how long it will actually take the thought police to catch him. Suddenly, as if answering his own question, someone knocks at the door.